E aí, galera? Whoops, I'm speaking Portuguese. Sorry. Hi, everyone. For some reason, my brain was in Portuguese today. Let me fix that camera here. Um, hello. How's everyone doing? Um, this Sunday. See Logan here, Tarcísio. Hi, Tarcísio. Yay. Hi, Nandi. Oi, Nandi. Um, yeah, sometimes my brain, for some reason, I thought this was supposed to be Portuguese. My bad. Hi, Sabes. Hi, Jace. Kim Zord. Motion. Felipe. E aí, galera? Tudo bem? Hi, everyone. All right. So we are back on track now. We're gonna continue our project. For those of you who were not here last week, I invited Max Dayan to come speak with us and bring some of his amazing wisdom about studying, about the industry, about choosing schools, etc. So if you missed that, it was just a talk with him. I did not sculpt or anything. We're just like talking about answering a bunch of questions of people in the chat. Hi, Alex. How's it going? Happy Sunday. And so if you missed that conversation with Max, go watch it last week, 2 weeks ago. Last week I was not feeling well. I couldn't come on Sunday, but the one before, that was the chat with Max, and it was so fun because Max, he's very clear when he speaks, and he you can see that he puts a lot of thought into everything that he does. So when he answers, he's very clear, he's very objective, and it's just so fun to learn from him, that way. Hi, Daria, Gregory, everyone. So today we're gonna get back to our archetype rebel. Okay. So I did a little bit of work on outside the stream on our generic characters that are gonna create that visual contrast between our rebel girl and all the other characters. So let's take a look at how that is going. Daria asked, "How are you?" I am doing good, great now that we are all here together. So let me turn on so we can start. Book. All right. So this is our generic character. Again, this character is going to be a good point of contrast to our rebel girl that we're going to start today. And just to show you guys, like, I didn't do much on my free time. I just basically decided, remember before we had those like separate eyelids? And I didn't like it, so I merged the eyelids to the face. I started blocking the hair. You can see that it's very blocky, but I started playing with the hair a little. Um, yeah, I still need to work a little on the shoes as well. But it's enough for us to continue now. So this is a choir boy. And now, today, we're gonna start working on our rebel archetype. Also, this stream is sponsored by Lenovo. Thank you, Lenovo. And so this, I'm going to use this body as a base knife. So this is the body, right, that we did. And again, because it's most covered, like I didn't add too much details or anything, just kept it like this. Logan is asking, is the hair made of curves or regular geometry? It's actually regular geometry. So let me show you guys. This is what it is. It's basically like a bunch of planes, very low res planes, you see. And I made like maybe 4 of them, and then I just duplicated and placed it. Okay, let's work, Elisa. Hi. So you can see just little planes, but then if you go to geometry and you turn on your dynamic subdivision, you can add thickness, and then for now it's not baked yet, the thickness, but you can turn on and off. So it's easy to turn it off, and then if I need to modify anything, I do whatever I want. If I turn it on, I have my thickness, and then I can kind of see a feel. I'm not sure about the feel of the hair yet, how I want to do it, but for now, that's where I am. Cool. Awesome. All right, let's start our rebel girl. So, just now before we start the stream, I was collecting some references for her. Again, she's not a rebel in the sense of a bad tone. She's a rebel, meaning that she's breaking the mold with love. She is just wants to express the most out of the song, so she decides to do her own thing. So I'm not going for a kind of like dark clothed rebel. I'm more for a very colorful rebel with flowers and maybe some hair color. I was looking at some Billie Eilish, like sort of stuff that she does. Also, I was looking at Björk because she had a phase where she wear a lot of very colorful makeup and clothes with a lot of floral stuff. So I'm thinking of more that vibe of Rob Rebel. Also, because they're in the choir, they're singing Let It Be from the Beatles. I thought of getting some hippie references to sort of like get some of the ideas. I noticed a lot of the clothes has this like tears, that creates this kind of fringe feeling. So maybe she modify her piece. I don't know the name of the piece here, this one, but maybe she modified this piece to have this stuff. I don't know. We're gonna try it. So here's a bit more references, and then I collect some color palette from the Beatles itself, since they're singing the Beatles, and even for like maybe I'm not sure, some haircut style, but I don't know if I'm gonna go that far. Cool. If you guys have any ideas of references that I could go for it, let me know in the chat. Because again, like we're gonna try to make this now together, so it's not like I have a very clear vision yet. Um, yeah, like I like how this image here, Bjork is wearing this sort of like two kind of buns on the sides. I might do. I'm not sure really. So we're gonna have to design a little bit together to find the style of our girl. Cool. All right. So now that we're here, hello, Gabriela. Hi. Now that we're here, I'm going to duplicate this tool so we can start modifying for our little girl. For now, this is the generic boy, but I'm just gonna draw here actually like the idea. For those of you who don't remember, um, this is my idea, okay? So I'm gonna draw here. The idea is this: we're gonna have a kind of like imagine an image like so. We're gonna have sort of like a theater background sort of thing like this. And then there's going to be like some cardboard cutouts of like maybe like some bushes and then like a sun, kind of like a play style, like a, what's the name of this? Clouds and whatever. And then we're going to have three kids, three or four. That's going to be the generic kids. So let's say one, two, three. I don't know if I'm gonna put four, but then we're gonna have our rebel girl right here, and she's gonna have they're all gonna be sort of like singing in a very standard pose, so they're gonna have pretty much the same pose. But then our rebel girl's gonna be like putting her arms up and like making like a pose or something, and again like because I like the contrast. I'm making sure that there is enough of them to create like a pattern, and then that's gonna show that she is breaking the pattern in the play, you know. So that's kind of the idea. So these are generic, but I'm gonna make different hairs, etc. They're not gonna look like they're siblings, they're like triplets or anything like that. But for now, I'm gonna copy this tool. I'm gonna paste it. So I have duplicated now, two of them, and we're gonna start working on our girl. Okay. And the pose, by the way, I want to show you guys how I pose in Maya. using a simple rig. So for now, we're doing T-pose because of that. So we're gonna pose later in that Maya. Hi, Logan. Holding. Okay, so let's think about what we're gonna do with our girl. If this is the default clothing, let's start thinking about what could we modify looking at our references. So, like I said, I thought maybe she could have this little buns on the side. So let's start drawing on top to get a feel for it. And I'm gonna make the tip of my pencil here just a bit bigger so we can draw. So maybe she's gonna have this buns on the side like this. Okay. They could have also some looking at this reference, it has this like red strip stuff. Maybe from the bun it could come out like some red little things with dots at the end. Something like this. Rasuna, hi, first time here. What is this project scenario or anything? Okay, so this show is called Archetype. So we use the rebel archetype to work right now. This is not the rebel. This is gonna be the default kind of like generic characters in the background. So now we're designing what is our rebel girl's gonna be, and she is a good rebel. So instead of using like dark colors, and we're gonna use more colorful stuff. Okay. So I hope that helps. So her hair maybe is gonna be part like this. Yeah, so that could be an option for the hair part. For the clothing, I'm wondering how much can we maintain in a certain way this clothing, but she did a bunch of modifications, let's say, right? So maybe like because hippies use that kind of like open legs, kind of more like a bell shape pants, it could be under here. Maybe I don't know. I thought maybe the dress itself could have clean this here. I don't know about this part, but the dress itself, she could have those fringes. Like let's say she cut up here and then he has all those fringes going around on the dress. Or it could be, I don't know what we can do with the sleeves. We could cut the sleeves. One thing I thought also is that this piece is a very close to the face. So anything that's close to the face, the more we modify, the better. So maybe it could be something like this, where we're gonna do some like layering. She put some layering of stuff on it, very colorful layering. And something like so. And maybe we'll have some big jewels somewhere. Cut her tie, dyed it. I think freckles maybe would be nice. Yeah, we can add some freckles. I was thinking of making her a little chubbier than everyone else. So it could be a little more volume here. Hi. Let's think one more. Let's look at our references. So we're getting somewhere. Let's see. One thing that hippies did a lot is kind of like layering of something very colorful with a cover of like something with fake leather on top, or let's check it out. Kind of like this here, you see that like he's wearing like a colorful stuff under, and then there's like a jacket on top of it. Something to think about. Darius said some ideas: shorter dress with fringes and patch pockets and a little animal or toy in the pocket and different color socks. Yes, I agree. We could even go, yeah, maybe a bit higher on the dress here, and then the fringes could open a bit more. The dress definitely is gonna not be white. I think we're gonna dye it like with some pattern that she made. Think about Pippi Longstock. Nice. Yeah, let's look at Pippi Longstock just for reference here. P long. That's nice. Yeah, it's a good reference. Let me copy some of this to our board right here. This one's a good one. Yes. I think we got some good images. Let's look at Nanji said search Gabby from Vivo. Gabby Vivo movie. Oh yeah, Gabby is colorful. Yes. That's a good one too. Put it here. We get something where we can see very well her clothes. This movie is so beautiful. I loved it. Loved it. Okay. Maybe Sabine from Star Wars Rebel. Let's see, Sabine, Star Wars Rebel. Oops. Oh yeah, that's cool. She has some dye hair. Find some reference here. Yeah, you guys are giving great ideas. Thank you. And again, the idea is that she is so into the song and the meaning of the song that she just like embodies into her expression, through clothes and color. So, Let It Be is a song about, letting it be, letting things be, accepting things as they are. And that requires a lot of love and compassion and self-love, etc. So we could potentially have her have some words on the clothes like love, peace, or something like that. So we'll see how that goes. Um, what could we do with the sleeves? We could cut the sleeves. I'm looking around the reference here. I love clothes. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun to design this stuff. Since we cut the fringes on the dress, I'm not gonna do it on the shirt. It might be too much. Also, the fringes might not. Oops, I cleaned it all. Let me do it again very fast. It's gonna be something like this. I don't know. We might think something different for the hair, but here definitely I like those like layering stuff with colors. Feel very fun. And then we could cut the dress here and then do the little thingings. Just, you know. What is the name of this drawing tool? Oh, it's called Epic Pen. You can download for free. And it's very helpful to kind of like draw on top of your model and things like this. Felipe said, I think asymmetrical bangs and hairstyle on birds of prey. Harley Quinn might be a cute ref. Yeah, I like that idea actually. Like if we do something more like this, and yeah, we can mess it up her hair a little more too, like make it a little more masked. For the sleeves, maybe could be, I don't know, like cut like shorter or no sleeves at all. Not sure. Right. But before all this, I think let's start working a little bit on her face and her expression she's gonna be doing. So what I'm gonna do is that this is the expression that most of the kids are gonna be doing when they're singing. So I'm gonna leave here on the side so we can see how much we can change her expression to be different, right? So they're like, and then maybe she's gonna be with her eyes closed or super open. Let's think about like a nice different expression. And also let's start changing the facial structure to become more like a girl. Just so I don't feel like I'm looking at this hair and getting too influenced. I'm gonna turn it off for now, the hair, and then I'm gonna do her bald for a little bit until we get an idea. Also, I'm gonna turn off this bit. Yeah. So I'm gonna change the color of her eyes to brown. So the one way we can do that is to go here to poly paint and we go adjust colors and it opens this window. And in here you can change the HSB hue. You can see here that starts to shift. You know, it's kind of like a mini adjustment, like Photoshop adjustment layer. So I'm gonna make it more like a brown tone like this. Okay. And she's gonna have, I think, kind of like a darker skin as well. So if we want to adjust the skin, we can come here, adjust colors again, and we can go to the intensity, lower the intensity. She's gonna start getting darker. And then we can higher the saturation to bring back a little bit more of some color. So I'm just playing with both of them so it doesn't feel like I'm desaturating her body too much. Okay, so this might be too desaturated. Try it a bit more. Okay. Um, let's see. I think I would like just a bit back. Okay. So she has a little darker color tone of skin. So now let's think about the facial expression she would do. Um, again, like this is our default kid, so I'm just gonna think about her being a little more chubby. So I'm gonna start adding a little more structure. And you guys, I don't think you guys ever see me working on a base mesh per se, where like I'm modifying things. Normally, I start everything from scratch, but I'm using this body because I want to use the same rig, you know, same topology for the rig. And that's more why I'm doing it. We can make her look a bit younger if we move the eyes lower as well. So I'm just thinking of things that we can do on her to start separating her from the rest of the kids. All right. So I'm gonna take all the eye structure here and all the eye structure. We're supposed to be singing, right? Maybe the rebel one could be rocking, like playing air guitar or something like that. Yeah, that's a good idea. It's a great idea. Definitely be doing that. We can try posing again, like I'm gonna do the rig in Maya, and then we can test some poses there. And then hopefully it'll be fun for you all to see how I would do that. So I'm moving her eyes a bit lower so she looks a bit younger. Also, maybe just a smidge bigger. For the nose, maybe she's gonna have a little bigger nose. More round overall nose than the other kid. I'm thinking she's more like a Latina ethnicity. So thinking of some, obviously Latin America is very diverse population, all colors and shapes. I'm just thinking like what I think about a kid, a Latino kid, like the eyes. Logan is asking, are the eyes still flattened spheres? I really like how the lid area came out, very soft. I need to practice that look. Yes, they flat spheres. If I show it here, you see, they're very flat spheres. Yeah. Okay. So if she's rocking on, let's look at some facial expressions of people like having fun. Um, rock star. Let's see some faces that they made. Maybe. Mm-mm-mm-mm. If we find something like Billie Eilish, um, and see any face expression when she's like having fun. It's hard. She always had this sort of interesting face, but we can have fun. That's her having fun. Okay, that's an idea. Mm-mm. Face, that's a bit too much for me, but I'm not gonna scroll too much. Or make like all well, like, and her eyes are a bit closer, so it's gonna be okay. Yeah, if we think about contrast, right? The shape of this kid is like this. So if she's doing something like very open, it's gonna contrast very well. Don't you guys think? So I think I might do like a big open mouth, like she's singing her hearts out, but with open mouth, not like oh, trying to control the sound like they are. Um, are the eyes flattened in feature film characters as well? Yeah, it's something that the rigger they do some stuff on the sphere to make it work with them with different shapes. But yes, it's totally possible, and they do it for sure. They don't have to have just like round, perfect round eyes, you know. So I'm going slow here because I don't want to break too much. And I'm just kind of like feeling it. Again, remember, a smile, okay? So you guys know, a smile, it's diagonal, right? Some people they only look at the front view and start adding the smile, but the smile kind of follows the shape of the face. So we got to think of it diagonally. Like if I go here, I instead of pushing like this way like this to make a smile, I push diagonal, see? Like down. And that follows more um the shape. Let me take those teeth out because I only made two. Put the the teeth here. So this is gonna, for now, it's gonna pretend that this is the teeth structure. I always like to do this so I can see the structure of like how big the teeth are gonna be. So I put just a little cylinder to kind of get the idea. Oops, not like that. Okay. Again, like I'm gonna do a very open mouth feeling. Um, and obviously we're gonna have to fix a bunch of stuff here, but I just try to make sure that I don't break things too much. So I'm going slow because of that. When you're doing very expressive expressions, it's very easy to break whatever you did. So you gotta be very careful, or else you're gonna have a lot of extra work to do. And I'm all about working smarter, not harder. So I'm just going slow, trying to push the smile. When you smile, right, the cheek meat here starts building up on the top more, and then you lose sort of like this volume here. So I'm just thinking about that as well. And we can always like find some reference of like some nice smile, like big open smile. This bigger like this. Now, yeah, breaking everything, but it's fine. You know what? I want to see what kind of smile they did on Luca, and here we go. Like, you see how the corners are much rounder? That's what I want. I want this sort of shape. So, you know what? I'm going to follow a lot of what I'm seeing there on Luca, because that's my main reference for the mouth, really. Let's do that. So it's much more rounder here on the corners. Much more rounder. And now again, like you can see, that's kind of breaking everything a little. That's okay. We're gonna fix it. Important thing now is to find the shape. And again, I'm gonna try to make it more that kind of being shaped smile. A lot of people, I want to hear your guys' opinions. Like, some people, they really don't like the bean shaped style that Pixar added, and then some other studios are copying it now. But what do you guys think? I'm interested to hear what you all think about the. For those of you who don't understand my question, is what I'm talking about is this bean mouth like this. This is called bean mouth, which instead of having like that perfect corner like this, like what Disney normally does, it's a bit more of this like cornerless uh mouth style. What do you all think? There's no wrong answers. I'm just wondering. Yeah, I agree. I like it a lot, but I've seen people love it. Look like Ghibli inspired. Yes, I know, right? I really like it. I think it's because of that. Because it's very like anime, and I love that they're trying to incorporate what is amazing about those cartoon anime styles to 3D. They're using a lot, right, to Steven Universe. Yeah, a lot of 2D shows they use a lot. 3D they didn't use much, and then Pixar start using a little more of that being shape, and I just love it. Yeah, I think, yeah, you can see on the reference here, like this would be more like a traditional corner when a character talks. But then if you look at a show like Luca or Turning Red, you see that the corners are very round, right? It's very rare you see a sharp corner on those characters. So it's pretty cool. I really like this kind of style. It's so different and cool. If it's more the rounded character style. Yeah, he makes a few more. It's just a different style, to be honest, right? The other mouse is very cool too. I'm not saying it's not, but I like it. It's refreshing, you know. It's refreshing to me. So get a lot. Okay, so let's again, like I'm trying to, and the teeth probably needs to be bigger for the style as well, more like so. Um, but I'm trying to, again, like, be careful your smile is not too much like flat on the face like this. It doesn't feel good, you know. You want to three dimensionalize it a little more, and then it reads better from all angles. So again, like I'm trying to do that three-dimensional feel to it. I'm gonna give a little more cheeks. When you smile, you can see here on her, there's a little more like a lead going up like this, right? Him, you don't see so much, but for the style that I'm doing on my own thing, I'm gonna close a little more the lids down here to create that feeling that the cheek volume is pushing the lid up, you know. They I watched Turning Red. Wow, that was a surprise how they added anime style. Looked fresh and amazing. Yes, Turning Red is so cool. Again, like I like to put the boy down here because I want to see how much contrast I can create on the shapes of them, right? So I thought of making her just a bit chubbier than everyone else as well. So I'm gonna give a little more here. And no closed lids in this case. I want her lids to be open, so she has a very open expression instead of serene. She's gonna have a more open expression, right? So again, like you can see that I work very slow in these areas because it's so stylized that anything that is too dirty is going to break the illusion of very flat 2D feeling. So you gotta be very careful and go slow with love, like I said, or else start getting some dirty stuff on your model. And in styles like this, being dirty is not forgiving, unfortunately. So trying to find that circle feel more on the top. And then here I'm gonna leave a little flatter. Okay, now she's happy, right? Gotta look at all angles. Cool. Let's check it out. Okay. Again, I'm just trying to make sure this is the top lid, so I want to make it thinner so it feels like her eyes are very open. So I go very slow doing that. You guys hear any barking? It's my dog is having a moment here. So, okay. The Yep. Let's look at the lower lid. The lower lid got a bit, when I push it up, you see, I need to give a little bit of a thickness back. I'm looking up here. So just giving more thickness. Okay. All right. You can see there's like this disgusting thing going on here. And that's because I'm stretching so much my topology on the face. So I need to do some love work here to be able to break that feel to it. I'm gonna go slow, adding a bit of mass. Start fixing a little more the stretching. Random question. Have you ever had to change something in a character that you felt worked really well, but the art director said to change it? Yes, all the time. This stuff happens all the time. Not all the time, come on, but like it happens for sure. I you know, you gotta again, we gotta remember that we are part of a group project, right? It's a group project. It's a lot of people involved, and we're hired to do a specific job, and we can always give our opinion, obviously. So sometimes, like if the director says, "Oh, I want this way," but I have a different opinion, what I like to do is to create a option, right? So I'm like, when I go to show it, I say, oh, "Here's what you asked, but I also experimented doing this different option here." And they might go with it sometimes, or they might say, "No, I prefer the way I said it because of this that." And then you move on, because again, it's not just about you and what you think. It's a collective vision that it's a lot of people, a lot of research, a lot of things that you might not be involved, that it's going on in the project. So you gotta have some level of that understanding to be happy, or else if you don't do that, I feel like I see some artists being very frustrated because they have a specific vision, but they don't understand that this is not your vision, this is a collective vision. Most importantly, the art director is the art director for a reason, right? So if someone chose that person, you have to accept that, right? There is a hierarchy in play as well. So what I like to do, like I said, is always give options. I give an option. If they like it, great. If they don't like it, I move on with my life, and that's all good. But that's a great question. Yeah. um I'm an animator, and my teacher liked to say, "You always have to keep in mind you are the director's tools." Well, that's one way to see it as well. Yes, we are in some degree, um, part of that machine, right? And it doesn't mean that you cannot suggest things. Like my experience in most studios I worked is that I feel very comfortable suggesting things. They might not choose what I suggested, but I like suggesting things, and I never had any problems of like someone thinking that I'm questioning their vision or anything like that. I just come from a place of like, "Hey, I tried something here. What do you guys think?" And then if they liked it, great. If they don't like it, that's totally fine too. They just move on, you know. But yeah, just remember it is a collective vision. So doesn't matter if you think it would be the most beautiful thing. It's not just about what you think is good, right? And that's fine too. You can do on your free time, like what I'm doing here. You can do whatever you want on your free time. But at work, it's not like that. It's a bit different. Right, so again, I'm trying to think of things that I can do to create more volume on her. Give a little more. Here. Nandi said, "What about the rebel does not have a tooth? Kids in this age usually lose it." Yes, let's give her a no tooth, no a geppy, yeah, because they're around this age, yeah, they're losing teeth. So that will be a cool contrast as well. I like that idea. Thanks, Nandi. How you doing, by the way? You doing well? Life is treating you well? I think I'm going to open her nose a little more. Any special software to use for her topology? I normally use Maya. when I need to retopo stuff, but there are definitely some software that people use that are more specialized for retopology. I just like got kind of used to the way Maya works for retopology, so I don't feel like I need anything special. But I know there is a software called, I want to say Topogun. Topogun. Some people like to retopo in Cinema 4D. Um, but Maya tools work pretty good for me when I need to retopo stuff. So, um, but thank you. Likes, likes and Max said, amo seu trabalho, Cheese. I love your work. Thank you. Nandi said, yes, actually working on my archetype characters. Thanks for the inspiration. Yay! Can't wait to see it, Nandi. Can't wait to see it. By the way, if anyone here, I'm obviously speaking English, but if you feel more comfortable putting the questions in Portuguese, Spanish, or French, I can also try to help those questions. So just something. If you're like, oh, I don't ask questions because I don't know how to write in English, you can write in those languages as well. Okay, cool. I think it's starting to look a bit different. Leticia, have you ever thought about creating your line of collectible figures, statues? That is a great question. Like, I don't know. I feel like um one time I thought about like creating a story, but like this universe. And I created a story and I thought, wow, this would be awesome to make a bunch of collectibles for this story. But I never end up doing it. But I do love the idea. Like, I printed a few things of my work, and it's so fun to have it. There is a Brazilian artist, amazing Brazilian artist. His name is Gabriel Soares, and he's doing his own prints now. And I feel so jealous because he's doing like so well, and he's painting it by hand himself, and it's looking amazing. And uh, it's very cool. You guys should definitely check it out what he's doing. Uh, yeah, I might make the lips here just a bit thinning this area. Let me see. Do it, Elisa. I'm gonna need your help, Elisa. You're gonna have to help me. Let's do it together because I don't know if I can do it by myself. Um, Patry 3D said, hello, Leticia. Just letting you know you are one of the top favorite streamers. I binged all your streams. Any chance you would be streaming for Pixelogic channel? No. I mean, um, I admire them and everything. I was never invited to do it, but I like streaming for Gnomon because it feels like home, Gnomon, because I went to Gnomon. So, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe one day I'll stream to Pixelogic, but yeah. I'm glad you enjoy it, by the way. I do with a lot of love, and um, I love being here chatting with you all, and it's kind of like my good time on the weekend where I feel that I can have fun and have nice conversations with you all. So it's pretty good. I recommend um, trying it out yourselves as well. If you like streaming, would be something fun for you. It is definitely fun for me. Um, Hi, Hosanna. Khalil asking in French, he's asking, are you going to do the rig as well? I said, yes, I will be doing the rig. I'll be doing the rig in Maya. So Probably next week we're gonna do the rig. So if anyone is interested to see how I do a very quick, dirty rig, nothing crazy. It's not like we're gonna animate, right? But it's just a simple rig to kind of like do some posing, and then I bring it back to ZBrush and do some cleaning, etc. So yeah, if you guys want to see that, make sure to join next week. Um, I would buy you collectibles if you sign it. You can sell it with your future courses. Yeah, that's a good idea. I'll definitely think about that. You guys are giving me great ideas. I don't know. It's like I'm not very good with the idea of the 3D printing. It's like I feel like it's hard, and I might be completely wrong, but like it feels like such a hard process, and it can go wrong, and I don't know. Maybe I don't have the patience to do it. Um, but I definitely have friends that do it that I can like pick their brains, right, Lisa? Wait, there's a bunch of questions. Leticia, I love your work. I love the job you did on Senseiya with Victor Hugo. Yes, that was one of the most fun projects I had. How was the process? It was literally like we're going to give a talk for like an event in Brazil, and we wanted to think of something that it was going to feel cozy because that was during COVID. It was 2020. So we were like, what is something that will make people happy? It's cozy, it's from the childhood. And then we decided that we both, when we're kids, both Victor and I were fans of Senseiya like stuff. So we decided like, oh, we know a lot of people also are very big fans. So we decided to do that project, and it was one of the most fun projects to make because Victor is such an amazing person to work with. So yeah, it was awesome. Um, Comic said I want my Gillett statue signed. Maybe one of these projects from the archetype. Who knows? We can pick a character and print, it, and then we can all have it. That could be cool too. You know, like I have those creatures I did from the um, innocent archetype. We're gonna have these characters here. We're gonna have a lot of other archetypes to make. So we can maybe at the end of it pick one and do something with it. That could be cool. Mhm. Lisa said it's not hard, the printing part. Okay, you tell me. I trust you. Need to leave. I'm from Pakistan. It's 2 a.m. No worries. Go to sleep. You should not be awake at 2 a.m., friend. All right. Do you have any advice to beginners artists? Yes. Choose a good class to start studying. You know, there's a ton of content online. So my suggestion is do some research to what you like, what kind of artists you admire, and choose wisely the content, because those first classes that you study as a student are so important to shape who you're going to be as an artist. So for me, for example, I was so lucky because my first teachers in the industry, they were so good explaining things and so inspiring, and that helped me learn things faster. So my tip would be do your research, find good classes, good schools, good books, whatever it is, and don't just jump on any class, because sometimes that can be detrimental, to your growth as an artist. Right. I love Gnomon School, but so expensive. Well, yeah. I mean, it's an investment, right? Everything it requires some level of investment. Some is financial, some requires more time. For example, for Noman, it was an investment, but I did the 2 year program, and then straight away I joined the industry. So for me, it was a cost benefit of investing on a very established school where I did 2 years, and then after that I could just literally join the industry and start working. And so, you know, it's not just about money. And I'm not just saying that because I went to Gnomon or whatever. I'm saying from my heart, really. It's like that was literally my decision. It's like, okay, I'm gonna invest a lot, but I know if I dedicate myself fully in 2 years, I'm gonna be in the industry. And that's exactly what happened to me. I studied like a crazy person, a Gnomon, and learned a ton. And then I joined the industry 2 years later, where if I, in my head at least, I could it take longer for me to be on that level if I chose a different path. That is again just my opinion. Okay, I'm not saying you should do this or whatever. It's not just about me, right? Oi, 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 Marcos, Mateus, hey. Comics Legend said yes. The Leticia Gillett Archetype collectible sketches series. Yes. Well, who knows? We can make that happen. Dream is free. Let's dream. They said if you don't want to print and ship it across the world to us, you can sculpt your signature on it, and we can print the files. Yes, that is an option too. I can sell it with the print, 3D print, like you said, what I just read. But yeah, that's an option too. Yeah, I like all these ideas. Keep sending them. Think we're gonna have to make her even more volume here on the cheeks. I need to add some cheeks. So Leticia, as a model, you have to do the model until the UVs, or there's something more. Depends on the studio. For example, Disney, we don't use UVs at Disney. We use PTEX. So I don't need to UV anything. But when I was in other studios, especially like on games, Overwatch, and things like that, yes, if as a modeler you go until the UVs. On Overwatch, I was a character artist, so I had to do the texturing as well. So I'll do UVs and texturing and shading, and then I was done. Yeah, but normally, if they hire you as a modeler, they're expecting you to model and do the UVs. Do you know Pedro Conti? How do you like his work? Tamo junto. Do you participate in small Brazilian animation projects? I do know Pedro. Pedro is one of my main life inspirations of all times. A lot of my work is very inspired by him. A lot of the way I work as well, because he's very fearless. He's like, oh, we need to animate, he animates. We need to do this, he does it. He's very fearless in that way, very inspiring guy. I did not work on Tamo Junto. Um, um, I never worked in any Brazilian animation, um, mainly because, I have my full-time job and I also do teaching. I chose teaching more as my path. Some people do freelance and they do extra projects. I like teaching more. I think it's more like my passion for my free time. So that's more what I do. But I love that short film. I love everything Pedro does. And, he still is one of my main references in life, as not just as an artist, but also as a person. Yes. All right, so you guys can see here, I'm giving her a little more body. Too much, just a little more. Let me see if I miss anything. I am diehard fan of Disney Animation Studios and want to be part of it. Can you please guide me for the guidance I give you is make a personal work with your passion, what you really like to do. Be passionate on your personal work. That cares a lot. And study a lot of Disney style, so when you do your work, try to study. It doesn't need to be Disney style 3D now per se. It can be Disney, old Disney, It doesn't even need to be Disney. It can be like other animation studios, but study as much as you can and try to put that in your work. Because when you go to the interview and everything, they're gonna see um, kind of like a sort of like a pattern of your style, of your passion, and then it makes it easier for them to connect the dots of like, oh, this person already does our style or something very close to our style. Let's just add it to the pipeline, you know. Servando, how you doing, my friend? Long time no see. Servando is an amazing, amazing guy that I met at Gnomon. We're both students, and he is crazy 3D, 2D artist. You know those people that piss you off because they're so good at everything? That's him. So follow his work. Nice to see you here, my friend. Hey, honey, how's it going? Uh, it is interesting that you could leave that white cylinder and it would work as teeth without any more detail. Yeah, for now it works pretty good, you know, it just gives you a feel to it. So later on, obviously, I'm gonna put real teeth, but for now it holds pretty well. Lucas said, as a character artist, it's okay if I do the groom of my character. I really enjoy the process of grooming. It is okay to do it in your personal work. In a pipeline of a studio, it depends, right? It depends on their pipeline. You can always suggest things, but a lot of times we gotta adapt to how the pipeline works on the studio. So yeah. Again, I'm hitting here with inflate just to give her a little more body. Again, not too much, just a little more uh, volume here. Gonna give a little bit more belly here. Okay. Part here is a bit weird. All right, doesn't matter. We're not gonna see much doing stuff that I shouldn't be doing. All right, so now we can see what's going on. Just gonna adapt the flows a little more. Here. Servando said, "Best teacher indeed." Good. Let's have study time with the best teacher. No, honey. Uh, Dailu said, you try to make good expressions in this model. It is good for the rigging. Are you texture this model? For the rigging, I'm only gonna rig the body, so that's why I'm putting the expression on the face already. Um, yeah, and let's see if I missed anything. Could you give some tips on how to study better? What did you used to do at the beginning of your career? To study, I would say like is consistency. It's like for me, consistency is the most important. Meaning, like I have a specific time to study every day. So when it's like 5 p.m., I study every day for 1 hour. Again, like I work full time, so I don't have a lot of time to study. So I try to make the best out of my 1 hour, 1 hour and a half, depending. So I try to have a specific time. I try to be there every day, if possible, to my study time. And that's the best thing I would say. Like, find the time that works for you, find the amount of time that works for you. If you think, like, oh, I'm going to start slow, I'm going to do 1 hour a day, then I'm going to try to increase to 2 or 3 or whatever. But for me, because of my full time job, I normally only have about an hour and a half to study every day. But that consistency of doing every day is so, so powerful. So, yeah. I think for her brows, I'm thinking something a little more um sassy, for the lack of a better word, meaning like something more like this, where she's not just like with open brows. Maybe we can do some of like that. This brow goes down like this, and then this goes like this. Or let's try again. Like if we do like this, so this brow here is a bit higher up, this one is a bit lower. Or we could do kind of similar to her, which is kind of funny. She's like have like very lower brows, kind of doing like so. Let's test it out. I'm not gonna change the head structure yet. I'm just gonna rotate a little. Um, how do you balance work, study time, and personal time? That's a great question, Silvando. For me, a lot of it is again like do small amounts of bites. I like to call small bites. So if I'm working all day, right? I'm pretty tired by the end of the day. So I try to do very small bites of studying time, but it adds up at the end of the week. So what I'm saying is I try to do like 1 hour, an hour and a half right after work. So I finish work around 5:30. So at that time, I start trying to like take my time to do 1 hour of study. Um, Again, like studying something or modeling something, whatever it is, and that's it. I stop and I continue again next day. But I try not to do too much, or else I get burned out. So yeah, I think that would be my best advice. Will be try to do small amounts if you have work already or whatever it is, because the consistency of doing small amounts at the like I said, at the end of the week, you're gonna have something and you're not burn out, right? You're still able to continue working. But sometimes in the past, what I would do is that I would work on the weekend, the whole weekend. I'll do a bunch of stuff, but then Monday would come and I was supposed to work, but I was tired as hell. And then guess what? I didn't want to continue my project anymore because I was so tired, you know. So that was the best thing I found for myself. Any books you would suggest for beginners, intermediates? Yes. I will gonna open here. One of the books that I suggest the most is what's the name? Anatomy for Sculptors. As a sculptor, we all know that we need to know our anatomy to break the anatomy, to stylize anatomy. So this book, this collection here is Anatomy for Sculptors. I'm gonna put it in a chat here. Um, This is very good. It's very direct for artists. It has different languages that you can get as well for the book. And it's so helpful to understand anatomy and then start working on it. Yeah. Let's see. What is your favorite ZBrush tip? Also, is Chris doing any more Dragon Ball characters? I don't know, man. I don't think he is. I think he's been doing more drawing lately on his free time. But favorite ZBrush tip. I mean, I like a lot to use the crop, right? If you go here to the scale, I use it a lot for making stuff. So if you go here on the gizmo, you hold control and you click on any scale part, it kind of crops the mesh, you see, like that. And I like using that sometimes when I need to crop things to make it straight, like for a shoe or something. I would say I like that. I was gonna think better of a question to see. I don't use a lot of like crazy stuff in ZBrush, so yeah. I think we can make her brows not symmetrical, where one could be a little more higher up like this, and one could be lower up, doing sort of more like a straight shape. One thing about brows that I learned is that you treat them as they are connected, meaning you treat them as they are like this, you know. This is very common on 2D animation where you do this and then you imagine going up and then you have the other brow and it creates this sort of like flow to the expression that is very important. So just to you guys keep it in mind. Um, Leticia, could you give any tips about optimizing your study processes, contents that, yeah, the best thing about optimizing study for me, my opinion is do a good balance of study and practicing, you know? Like in the past, I used to think studying was watching a ton of tutorials. And then I would watch like hours of tutorials and then I'll go do it. And sometimes I couldn't do it the way I wanted because I didn't give my brain time to process the information through exercising. You know what I mean? So for me, one of the most important things is to uh, do a little bit of studying, let's say half an hour of a tutorial, and then right away I go put into practice what I learned in that tutorial. And then you solidify better the content that you just learned. And how many times, you guys, be honest here, how many times have you watched hours of tutorials and then you go do it and you can't remember most of it? Be honest with me. I know you have. So what I try to avoid is that I try to avoid this feeling of um not doing too not studying, like what I learned on the tutorial. So I think that's a very important thing. I don't know what I'm doing here with this expression. It is not working. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna redo it. Let's go back. Another thing is again like have a consistent time to study. I think is very important. It's gonna make you know that you have your time. You go there, you study a little bit, and feel happy. Um, Let me think what else. Um, I think it's the most important part is what I said, which is like don't trick yourself thinking that you're gonna watch a bunch of tutorials and you're gonna know what to do because you're probably not. Our brain does not contain information that way. Unfortunately, we gotta have to put into practice to solidify whatever you learn. So yeah, that's the true reality of life. I'm gonna bring this hair back for now, and I'm just gonna do those little balls that I comment for the hair just to see if it's gonna look cool. Let me see if I missed any questions. And Luca, all mouse are on the side. Is it immediately modeled like this or rigged? It's done in rig, Andrew. It is model neutral and then rig. Well, actually, animation is going to the rig makes it possible to make those shapes on the side, but animation is gonna be able to do it, right? To match a concept is better to sculpt into ortho view or perspective. Lucas, for me, I like to model with a bit of perspective. I never model like completely flat. That's just because I know at the end, most of the time, people are not gonna see it flat. They're gonna see with some perspective. So I like to model. If you see here, I have 85 millimeter lenses, which is considered a portrait value. So I like to do that, just so you know. Mhm. What is this? Gunther from Sing has funny, sassy expressions. Probably don't fit to this character, but funny. Oh yeah, let's check it out. Gunther. Singer. Oh yeah, he has definitely some sexy expressions. That's great. See if there's anything similar to what we want to do. I haven't watched Sing 2 yet. Anyone did? Is it good? I'm sure it is. Yeah, that's cool. I might have to keep it the browse up, kind of like this. We'll see. Oh, losing my voice. Um, what was the question people are saying all the time, almost every day? Oh yeah, I asked about the tutorial stuff, right? Yes, the tutorial stuff is tricky because it's so comfortable to just sit and watch tutorials. And if you get good tutorials, it's gonna be fun. You're gonna have fun in life, right? But that's not how the reality is, right? Look at here. I'm using my tool here. Control click. I'm gonna clip it. See, it clips the mesh. So I'm doing that to make the little bun things. Yes, watching tutorials is so fun and I love it and it's so cozy. But if you don't put into practice, it's not gonna do much for you. That's the truth. Um, I usually watch it while doing it. Make a wiki to remember later. That's pretty cool. Yeah. I cannot do that though. Like I don't have that capability in my brain. Like I need to be fully 100% watching something or else like I do not absorb stuff for me at least. Have you been burnout and how did you overcome it? Yes, I think everyone here can say that they have been burnout. I do have burnouts more often than I wish I did, I would say. The way to overcome it is actually to respect it. Like if you're having a burnout, it means that you need rest, right? So you gotta give your body, you gotta give your mind some time to recover from whatever it is that you did. So that's the way I normally try to do it. Is just like take like a few days off if I can, or take a weekend, like not to do some intense work for anything, you know, try to solve it as fast as you can because if you keep holding burnout and you don't take a break, it's only gonna make it worse, you know. So I tried now. In the past, I was not very good about it, taking care of myself. Now, because I'm older and I also, had some bad burnouts in life, I try to take care of it as fast as I can, whatever it is the decision I make at the moment, and that's how I solve it basically. And again, that could is different for everyone, right? For me, it's like, all right, I don't want to think about work. So let's say I'm burned out from work. I don't want to think about work. I'm just gonna take a few days off and just think about something else. I'm gonna watch some shows, whatever, and then I'm fresh again. But it might be different for you, right? You might need to like, oh, I'm gonna go to the beach, go do something else that it makes you relax. For me, a lot of relaxation is it's like watching some movies and um, being at home, being able to like stay in bed longer and rest, things like that. Um, Let me see if I missed any. Do you think it's important to create our own designs, even being 3D modelers? Usually uses 2D concepts from another artist. That's a great question, Ani. Um, I think being a designer as a modeler, it only gonna help you because you're gonna be able to translate better other people's concepts beyond your own concept, right? Beyond you doing your own thing. So I think it's like, for example, Servando is here. I don't know if he's still here, but he was here, and he is a person that he's a 3D artist, but he also does his own concept. He studied drawings as well. He does painting. And I think all that stuff might sound like a lot, but the more you practice taking some time to study design, to try to do your own designs, you're gonna just become a better artist, right? And at the end, it's not just about I'm a modeler, I'm a painter. It's like I'm an artist. How am I going to express myself in my work? And again, like some people might like to just model. Like I just want to get a drawing and model, and that's totally fine. But I bet to you, if you study design, you're gonna you're gonna become a better modeler. There's no doubt on my mind, you know. So again, it's not like you have to be your own concept. Not at all. I just think it's a good skill to practice for any career. If you're gonna be a modeler, if you're gonna be a designer, and even for your own times. Like, what if you get to a point where you can luckily tell your own stories? You know, I want to tell my own stories. If you study design, if you study storytelling, you're just gonna be better at it, and then you're gonna be able to, have fun doing it. But I know people that just loves to model concepts from other people, and they obviously are studying design and looking at other people's concepts. If you look with intention, you're gonna learn a lot from design, right? There's no way you're not gonna learn. So yeah, that's just my opinion. Just makes you, in general, I would say, like a better storyteller if that's something that you care about. For me, I do, so I like doing it. Yeah. But I think, like, in the beginning, it can be a bit intimidating, really, to kind of like, oh my God, I have to model, and I have to concept, then I have to do this, and I have to do that. You guys are seeing here with my process that is actually not that intimidating. Just gotta feel uncomfortable a little bit, but you're gonna get something. Might not be the best. I mean, I'm very better modeler than I am designer. I know that, but I only gonna get better at design if I design, right? So here I am trying to design, so I can learn it. Um, yeah. Okay. Let's think about this. Let me see if there's anyone. Now she's a Princess Leia. Yeah. I watched Sing 2 and I liked it, but it's forgettable. I have to think for a few seconds. I want to watch it. Do you also feel like your models look different when you export them to Maya? If so, how do you deal with that? Yes, that happens sometimes when you put skin shaders and things like that. Like the shader you're using in ZBrush can be tricky. Like normally they're a bit more shiny than something you would see in Maya. So you just gotta get used to it, really. And sometimes, like, I like to keep exporting stuff to Maya and some stages to so I can see what's going on there. But yeah, that's normally what I do. I don't not sure about this expression at all, but we'll get there. For now, I'm gonna leave it. Jasper asked, "Who was is your biggest rival in school or at work?" I think my biggest rival in school and at work is myself. It's me trying to sabotage myself, with my own self-doubt and my own insecurities. So I think I'm my worst rival for sure because of that. Because I get insecure or I get like uh, doubtful of my skills or things like that. Um, yeah, that is not a good feeling, and you know, so I try to work on that as much as I can, but I can't say I'm very good at it. I'm still learning for sure how to deal with myself. Yeah. Master doing stylized cartoon characters, I have to first study realistic anatomy. Not first, you can be studying at the same time. Let's say, like, you can be studying like design language for cartoons, but at the same time study some anatomy. I think that it's a good path to do it. The thing about anatomy is that the more you know it, the more you're going to be able to play with it. So for me, I like to study a lot of anatomy because, again, like, if I know well, I can figure out ways to stylize anatomy as much as I can, and that's just gonna make, again, my model that much better, you know. So, but you don't need to study first. You can be studying at the same time, you know. Okay, to master doing. Okay, so Amanda's still here. I've seen a lot of modelers grabbing designs from Instagram. They give credit when it's due, of course. Yes, that is very common. I do that as well. I get concepts on Instagram and then I model them because I like the story or I like the design. And that's a great way to learn to express yourself as well, right? To push your design skill. That's totally fine. That is actually more than fun. That is great to do, you know. Again, like, I'm not saying you have to design to become a modeler. Just saying that if you do exercise that skill, you gotta just be a better modeler in general, a better artist in general, you know. Hey, hello, Leticia. Hi, how you doing? Uh, Eva, sorry. Leticia, do you look at DMs on Instagram? Could I send you some of my images from the course? Well, I'm gonna be honest, I do not look at DMs on Instagram. If you want to send me anything, send me straight to my email. It's this one here. Please use wisely my email. I don't have a lot of time, but I'm gonna put it here. If you ever want to send me what you did on your class, I take a long time to reply to things, but I do reply. Yeah, but please be nice. Don't ask a lot of things because it's hard to reply to a bunch of stuff. How do you overcome doubting yourself? I'm still working on that, Vicha. That is very hard a thing for me as well. It's not just you. I have a lot of doubt on myself and insecurities. So I think I'm still exercising, but the best way is to remember that the doubting voice was created by you at some point in your life as a defense mechanism. So let's say, like, when you ate, someone said something to you and you start doubting yourself, and that was to protect you from something, from getting hurt, from getting questioned, whatever it was, you know. So what we need to do as adults now is to think, those defense mechanisms still serves me? Does it still serve me to be doubting myself all the time? In my opinion, obviously, I don't think it does. So I have to figure out ways to understand that. And every time that voice inside your head starts coming out, doubting yourself, you got to say, thank you for, taking care of me, this defense mechanism. But I'm okay. I want to learn new things. I want to try different ways instead of just doubting myself all the time, you know. You got to try to have that conversation with yourself, and hopefully, slowly, that voice inside you is going to become less strong in your life. But I'm still working on that for sure. Every cartoon character has anatomy correct. Hi, Leticia, got here late. Hey, Mateos, how's it going? Vitor, yay! Vitor Hugo, one of my top influences in life. Let me show his work here. He's here, so I'm gonna put him on the spot because I know he's gonna hate it. Vitor Hugo. Okay, if you don't know his work, you're missing out in life. but what? Yeah, sure. No. Victor is one of my biggest inspirations. I did this project, him, the Sensei one, and I was talking about this earlier, Vito, about our project and how it was one of the most fun projects I ever done in a group in my life. It was like the best time we had. So check it out his work. I'm gonna put the link here so you all can see it. Let's see. In other words, don't spam. Yes, please don't spam my emails. I put it here, trusting you all that you're gonna make good decisions with my email, please. Ah, Victor is here. Yes, I'm gonna make you pay Victor. Oh, another Victor, yes. Victor is number one for sure for me. Not just as an artist, but as an inspiration, as a person. He is he's like just a beautiful soul, you know? And when you have those people and you're lucky enough to have them as friends, you just gotta thank life, you know, for that. So that's that. Um, yeah, the Sensei project was done with Vito Savando. He did all the look and rig and stuff, and I did all the modeling. Um, Nanji said, "Lei, if you make another girl in this project, can you show how to make braids?" Sure. We can. Well, there's brushes for braids. Like normally I just get a braid brush and use it. But yeah, I can show that. Yeah. Cool. All right. So let's think about a bit more. Like I said, I want this piece here to be kind of like what Björk did on her dress. Where's the dress? Bong, bong. Here you go. So it's kind of like scales, pieces of scales, like so. So I'm going to make a little scale and we're gonna start placing it. So again, like everything else in my life, I start from a sphere. In this case, because the scale is gonna be a bunch, I'm gonna make this more low res. So the ways to do that, you just go to reconstruct subdivision. I'm gonna click a few times, and this is very low res now. So just gonna make it kind of like flat like this. And think about the shape of the scale. So in general, I would say like it's gonna be bigger here and then smaller back here, like so. Yep. So let me see how this is feeling. I'm gonna delete higher so I can use smooth, dynamic smooth thinner like so. Yep. I think that's pretty much the shape that I need. Again, try to make things simple, you know? Don't need to complicate stuff. It's just a shape. So that's what I'm gonna do here. Flatten a bit more. Ron asks Lela, how can I translate the concept into 3D since there are things in 2D that don't work in 3D? How can I not lose the essence of the concept? Again, a lot of it is studying design. You know, it's like understanding that, also observing other 3D models that maybe did similar translations to what you're trying to do and see how that person or studio approached that, you know? A lot of times, like, um, I do that a lot. I research like a certain style and I'm like, oh, I've seen a movie in that style. Let me see how they did the hair. Let me see how they did the mouth or whatever it is. So it's a lot of research really and the experimentation, like duplicate a subtool, try different things, you know, experiment with it, and that could be cool. Yeah, it's problem solving, right? It's kind of like not thinking there is just one way and the right way. You're gonna have to find your own way to do it, basically. One thing we could do here on this piece is I'm gonna get the Z modeler and I'm just gonna bevel this edge so it doesn't feel so sharp here. So I'm gonna go on top of the edge. I'm gonna go bevel. And I'm just gonna bevel this edge like this. Choop. Okay, so now it's a bit more, it has a bit more edge on the side than before. Cool. One thing that is interesting on the dress, you can see that like they're not all the same size. Like here next to the neck, they're a bit smaller and then it gets bigger, which is nice because it makes more nature-like feeling. So that's what I'm gonna try to do here. So I'm gonna duplicate by hand because I want to control every single one of them. So every time I need to feel something with a lot of stuff and I'm doing by hand, I like to go like this. I'm gonna show you guys. For example, first I'm gonna keep symmetry because I don't want to have to do it the whole thing. Hey Bertrand, how's it going? I'm gonna do a symmetrical. So like I said, for example, I can do like a smaller one next to the neck. And then I'm gonna do kind of like this. And then if you hold control, click and drag is gonna duplicate. But again, what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna make the what I like to call the key main pieces, So I'm gonna do just a few. So I'm gonna, let's say like we're gonna have three layers. This one's gonna be bigger. And like this. Looking from the front, I have this kind of layer in here. Maybe I could take this one and move it down just so it's a bit more centered. Something like this. And then I'm going to start duplicating around and filling up slow. So what will be the next point of interest will be here on the shoulder. So again, I'm going to duplicate this. I think I need to turn off symmetry to do it. Yeah, we can copy symmetry later again. So I'm going to do this like so. I like to go from like some hero ones first, and then later I start filling it out more and more and more and more. That is an easy way to control. This is good too, technique for hair. Like you do the main ones, and then later you start filling it in. But this like here. Okay. Just make sure to fix it a little. I could try to use nano mesh, but I'm old school. I like to do things by hand. Okay. So I'm just gonna do one side and then we can mirror it. Okay. So now we can take this one and put to the back. I'm gonna do here, select this one, take it, and it can rotate 360 like this. Oh, again, like I'm not too worried because it's this. So I want the feeling of being organic. So if I'm like not doing perfect placement, I don't want that because I want it to feel organic. Oops. Right here. Well. Okay. And now we can start thinking about layering a bit better some other ones. So we can, again, I can take this whole row here, duplicate, but now I'm going to maybe like offset a little bit like this. Maybe I'm going to scale up just everything so it feels like rotate. Again, like I want to feel very organic, like how it is on Björk. So I'm not going to worry too much. And we could even start really copying some like this. The only thing we got to make sure we own the shape. So that's the annoying part. Just make sure we're close enough to the shape of the thing. One thing we can do as well is to, just copy a few, scale it, and then we can make sure it's on the shape later. I can do something like this. and then again, rotate. And soon enough, you're gonna fill it out and it's gonna look cool. Just gotta have patience. But you can see that we're already starting to fill it. And, you know, I'll probably not bore you guys with this. I'll probably just do like a few and then I can do it offline. And next week I'll show you guys ready. But this is how I would normally do. And you can also use the move tool with topological. So if I turn on the topological brush, put it very big like this, you can just move them to place. You don't need to use the gizmo all the time. I can just do this like this, and then you start having them placed a little faster. You can see it's starting to fill it. Again, I'm not going to worry too much about this side because I'm going to mirror. And then after we mirror, we can think about breaking symmetry. Just moving a few here and there, and then it's going to look cool. For now, I'm going to put like a reddish color on it. Let's see the questions. As a character modeler in a project, how far do you go? It depends on the studio, really. Some studios, they want you to add as much more detail as possible in the model. There are other studios that they like to have a certain level of detail done by the look department. So the models are actually pretty, I wouldn't say simple, but they're much more primary, secondary shapes, and then the tertiary shapes would be done by the look department, you know. So again, like, it depends on the studio. I had different experiences on different studios where the model would be very, very simple. And then everything, the details, some folds and things like that would actually be done by the look department in a displacement map or a normal map, etc. So it depends. I said I was going to stop, but I'm not stopping. But I'm gonna stop now. What's been your favorite project to work on so far? At work or in like life? I really enjoy working on Encanto. It was, you know, my first Disney movie, so it was very special to me as well. Both, okay. Yeah, so far I think Encanto was pretty good because, you know, it was my first project at Disney. I was so excited and I was going to die of excitement. I think lately the project I did here actually on the stream, the last one called The Innocent was pretty cool project. I have fun doing it. I was pretty proud of the result at the end. I think that was pretty cool. Yeah. All right. You guys got the idea. I will just continue filling this. One thing you can do also is to duplicate this, like some of it at least, and you know, just move a little bit. Let's try that. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do auto group. So you can see that it's auto group now, and I'm going to select a few here from the front to use as a duplicate. So I'm going to duplicate this subtool. I'm going to delete hidden, and I'm going to move to the side, and now I have a new subtool for this stuff here, and I can try to pose it, and then later I can, you know, just clean it up. But it's a way to kind of like go a bit faster. And then, we can move around and make it work. Uh, how many films do you work on a year? I don't know if you can talk about that. Either if I can talk about that. But I mean, Disney releases a movie a year, so I guess I work a movie a year. S- Yeah, I think it's a movie a year. Um, you know, I've been at Disney for not too long. It's been only 2 years and a half. I'm pretty new, considering that there are people there that have been there for like 25 years already. It's pretty crazy to meet people. Like, "Oh, yeah, I've been here for 25 years. I'm like, damn. But who knows? Maybe I'll be that person at Disney one day. I'll be like, when I was young, I used to model scales by hand. Things like that. Mm, I think this is not going well. I might have to try the nano mesh technique. But you guys get the idea, right? It's gonna be different colors. It's gonna be so happy, and it's gonna look good. I might try nano mesh just because I'm losing control a little bit of the shape. Uh, or I might try to do it in Maya as well. We'll see. Um, I'm gonna put. Let's think about some of the makeup color again because she's singing the Beatles. We could think about some colors from like a iconic Beatles, like this one, for example. It has like pink, green, blue, and red. We could try to do that. Mm, that's a cool makeup like this. It might echo a little bit of the scale stuff. I might try to use this colors here on the makeup and we can see what happens. I do not like this brows at all. I think that I'm gonna do it up like this. Like she's very excited to be singing. I don't know. I'll have to play. But let's review. We're almost done with the stream, but let's review. I'm gonna add the scales here. I might have doing the scales too small, so but I'm gonna do the scales here. Her dress is gonna have those little strips coming down here. Um, I think I cut off the sleeves. The dress is gonna have like some level of patterning, like some dye patterning thing. It's not gonna be white. And the scales are gonna be colorful, just like what Björk did. And I might do that sort of makeup that Björk did down here on the eyes like this. And we're gonna add the little thingy coming down here to kind of like, we might keep the structure like a bit straight going out. And also, I'm gonna think a bit more about the expression because I'm not feeling it too much. You guys have any suggestion? Now is the time. We have 10 minutes still. Ron said in a Frozen 2 documentary on Disney Plus, you can see that the film on the goals changes until its release. Yes. That documentary is pretty accurate. If you want to understand how Disney works, yes. It's a good one to watch. At Disney, do modelers work on textures, rigs, etc.? No, we normally just model. Um, Normally just model it at Disney, and then you have your regular rig department and look dev department. We don't even do textures, right? UVs, I mean, because we use text at Disney, so we don't need to do UVs. So normally we just model, make the best model you can to add to the pipe. That's a job. You can see that I'm like tricking myself that I'm working here, but I'm actually, just moving things that I'm gonna redo it. So that is what I call working without intention. But sometimes it's needed too. Sometimes you're tired and you just need to move some stuff a little bit. And that's totally fine. As long as you're not tricking yourself. I'm not tricking myself here pretending I'm doing work, basically. Uh yeah, no UVs. It's pretty good. Don't have to do UVs, I'm not gonna lie. I might try to play a little with the expression. Maybe we can make it more open like this. Let's try to push her expression. So again, I'm gonna make it more like a sweet, more expression type of thing. So get it here. Yay! She's like this. I need to change the structure as well. Now the hair is not gonna be like this, right? I just did it to kind of like put the shape in, but her hair is gonna go up, so obviously it's not gonna have this piece here. It's all going up to the buns of the hair. So, so what's gonna happen is this. Let's check it out. So we're gonna have the buns here. We're gonna have this going to the side, maybe a little pieces of hair coming down, then some little pieces coming here to the side here. Yeah, I might have some like little piece of hair coming to the side, and then we're gonna have those wire things coming out like this, like Björk did. And from the back, we're gonna have the hair going part ways here, but then it's going all up to the bun, right? Doing like this. So I'm gonna have to do that. Yeah. Work on that a little bit this week, and then next week, remember, we're gonna do some rigging in Maya. So if you're interested on seeing how I do a very dirty rig in Maya to post stuff, um, join us next week. Remember, she needs a missing tooth. Yes. So yeah, I think I'm gonna give like a front gap. So maybe we can have like this tooth here, and this, but then here on the side is gonna have a little gap here. And that's gonna be cute as hell. If I paint all here. I don't know. You guys can kind of see the idea. Yeah. Gappy. Never thought it would be so easy to chat and ask questions with Disney employees. Great, thanks for the broadcast. Of course. I'm beyond a Disney employee. I'm just a modeler. So, I only speak from my own experience, and I hope you guys enjoy that. I'm not gonna do this. Don't like go back to this scales. It's not working. We're gonna have to do it again. Can you please tell me about the pipeline of making a character from design to preparation for animation at Disney? It's not different than any other place. We normally get a concept, right? And then we just have to model, and we have rounds that we need to show to like directors and art directors and things like that. So we show that stuff to them, and the moment the director's like, okay, this is working well, let's move through the pipeline. So then we do a pass of what we call cleanup, where we clean the model to be super clean and ready for rig to play with. And then we send it to rig, and then rig starts doing their magic, and if they find anything on the topology that needs to be different, they send it back to us, and then we do adjustments on it. But that's kind of like the pipeline, really. It's just a lot of meetings to get to where we want, and then but hopefully we'll get to there. I'm going to do this. I'm going to delete the back ones. I'm gonna keep just the fringe one, and then delete all these back ones. Then this hair here, this base hair here could be like, if you guys think about it, right? I'm going to separate here in the center like this. And then the volume of the hairs are going to be doing like this. Going here, here, this, things like this. So it's kind of like what I'm thinking. It's just a sketch to get the feel. And then we can just like mark a little bit some of that. Here a bit. Just for now. I know what's gonna happen. And then we can think about taking like maybe, I like to duplicate things a lot because I'm lazy to create from scratch. So like I'm gonna get this, I'm going to duplicate, delete hidden. And then I can take this piece now and turn on symmetry and try to make it like long and like thinner. And that's my way of like duplicating stuff and not having to make it from scratch every time. Just don't be dirty, you know. I'm being a bit dirty here, but try to make it a little more calm, like what I'm doing now. Make sure the edges are a bit spaced out and nice. Can add an edge loop here. We're gonna insert here. Maybe one more here, just because it's longer. Then go back, bring it in. Pretty. Can start seeing a bit more potential here of what's going on. Again, I like to put masses because we're doing concept in 3D. We don't have a drawing. You gotta have something there so you can start shaping it. So don't be scared of adding masses and testing it out. Like what I just did with the scales, like it's not working, but I'm testing, right? So don't be scared of doing that kind of experimentation. Just put a mass there and play with it and see what happens. I love how you make this look simple. Yeah, I try. I try. Uh, yeah, again, simple sometimes what makes something simple is you creating some constraints. Like there's so many ways I could do this, right? But I choose to do the simplest way in my head always because that will make it easier for me to concept, you know. So that's what I'm trying here, basically. That, and we can think about it if like she has this kind of volume of buns, she probably has pretty long hair. Like, so we can make this a bit longer like this. And let's mirror this thing just to see what happens. Okay, not too bad. Mirror this. I think I'm gonna do it again. But I'm just mirroring so we can feel it, what's going on. And then obviously we're gonna put different colors and stuff. Yeah. I think I'm gonna have to give her more cheeks. I want her to feel a bit chubbier. I'm projecting my own life. Was that chubby girl in the choir? So I'm gonna make her a bit chubbier, like I was. Chubby cheeks, please. And then again, I can put next to him here and see how he feels. You know, if it feels different enough, and I can continue pushing what I want to do. I think we're gonna have to not push too much the brows because he has this sort of like very angelic brow feel. So I don't want that on her. You can see that I'm struggling with this brows. to decide what is best for the expression. I think she's gonna have to be a little bit like rock and roll like this to create more contrast, you know? Yeah, I think that's what's gonna happen. Bring this piece here. And this. Let's see. We're almost out of time. I think do you guys have any final questions before we end the stream today? Remember, next stream we're gonna do some rigging. If you're interested on that, join us. Don't miss out. In C, I'm gonna use Maya, but you can try to apply the idea to Blender or whatever any other software you guys use. And hopefully that'll be helpful. Trying to create more edges on her so she can feel a bit more edgy. All right. Thank you for the great time, Leticia. Of course, thanks for the company. You guys are making me company, I hope. And yeah, thank you, everyone. So I think you guys have a good idea where I'm gonna try to go. Next week, I'm gonna try to keep evolving on this, and then I'll show it to you all. If you have any questions about how I did certain things, if I do use a nanomesh to create the scales, it might be something cool to show to you all next week as well. If you never use nanomesh, so I'm try to use that to show you all, and then we can play with that. All right. Well, that's the end of it. Thank you so much, Leticia. I always love your content. Thanks, Annie. And I love having you guys here. It feels like I'm at home. You know, you at home playing with your friends. Yep. Thanks, everyone. Have a good one. And if you're doing anything while streaming, please tag me on Instagram. I'd love to see what you all are doing. And even if if you're not shy, if you're shy, it's fine. I will not put you on the spot. I only put on the spot people that I know. So you don't need to feel bad like I'm gonna put you on the spot on the stream. But if you want to tag me, I would love to see it. And if you want me to show here on the stream what you're doing to people, I can show it as well. It's up to you, right? So have a good one and see you guys next Sunday. Now I'm gonna put a cool video from Gnomon. Bye.